Absalom, the son of David, was pursuing David, his father, to kill him. Of the books called Samuel, the second, chapter 18. And David numbered the people that were with him, and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. And David sent forth the people, a third part under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishai the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and a third part under the hand of Hettai the Gittite. And the king said to the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also. But the people said, Thou shalt not go forth, for if we flee away, they will not set a heart to us. Neither if half of us die will they care for us, but thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore now it is better that thou be ready to help us out of the city. And the king said to them, What seemeth you best I will do. And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people went out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Hettai, saying, Deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the forest of Ephraim. And the people of Israel were smitten there before the servants of David, and there was a great slaughter there that day of 20,000 men. For the battle was there spread over the face of all the country, and the forest devoured more people that day than the sword devoured. And Absalom chanced to meet the servants of David, and Absalom was riding upon his mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of a great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between skies and earth, and the mule that was under him went on. And a certain man saw it, and told Joab, and said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanging in an oak. And Joab said to the man that told him, And behold, thou sawest it, and why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? And I would have given thee 10 pieces of silver and a belt. And the man said to Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 pieces of silver in my hand, yet would I not put forth my hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee and Abishai and Hettai, saying, Beware that none touch the young man Absalom. Otherwise, if I had dealt falsely against his soul, and there is no matter hid from the king, then thou thyself wouldst have set thyself against me. Then said Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee. And he took 3 darts in his hand, and thrust them through the heart of Absalom, while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak. And 10 young men that bare Joab's armor compassed about, and smote Absalom, and slew him. And Joab blew the sounding horn, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel, for Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom, and cast him into the great pit in the forest, and raised over him a very great heap of stones. And all Israel fled, every one to his tent. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared up for himself the pillar which is in the king's dale. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar after his own name, and it is called Absalom's monument to this day. Then said Ahimaaz the the son of Tharthok, let me now run, and bear the king tidings, how that Yahweh hath avenged him of his enemies. And Joab said to him, Thou shalt not be the bearer of tidings this day, but thou shalt bear tidings another day. But this day thou shalt bear no tidings, because the king's son is dead. Then said Joab to the Cushi, Go, tell the king what thou hast seen. And the Cushi bowed himself to Joab and ran. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Tharthok, yet again to Joab, But come what may, let me, I pray thee, also run after the Cushi. And Joab said, For what reason wilt thou run, my son, seeing that thou wilt have no reward for the tidings? But come what may, said he, I will run. And he said to him, Run. Then Ahimaaz ran by the way of the plain, and outran the Cushi. Now David was sitting between the two gates, and the watchman went up to the roof of the gate to the wall, and lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, a man running alone. And the watchman cried and told the king, and the king said, If he be alone, there is tidings in his mouth. And he came apace, and drew near. And the watchman saw another man running, and the watchman called to the doorkeeper, and said, Behold, another man running alone. And the king said, He also bringeth tidings. And the watchman said, I think the running of the foremost is like the running of Ahimaaz, the son of Tharthok. And the king said, He is a good man, and cometh with good tidings. And Ahimaaz called and said to the king, All is well. And he bowed himself before the king with his face to the earth, and said, Blessed be Yahweh thy God, who hath delivered up the men that lifted up their hand against my lord the king. And the king said, Is it well with the young man Abshalom? And Ahimaaz answered, When Joab sent the king's servant, even me thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I knew not what it was. And the king said, Turn aside and stand here. And he turned aside and stood still. And behold, the Cushi came, and the Cushi said, Tidings for my lord the king, for Yahweh hath avenged thee this day of all them that rose up against thee. And the king said to the Cushi, Is it well with the young man Abshalom? And the Cushi answered, The enemies of my lord the king, and all that rise up against thee to do thee hurt, be as that young man is. And the king was much moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate, and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son Abshalom, my son Abshalom, would I had died for thee, O Abshalom, my son, my son. And it was told Joab, Behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Abshalom. And the salvation that day was turned into mourning to all the people. For the people heard say that day, The king grieveth for his son.